Hey, and welcome back there. This time I just thought I'd look at another video with one of my videos. I'll do an audio over on top to take you through what I can do with the image enhancements and things like that. So here we're looking at an interesting image taken from Mars, one of the Mars rovers, and you can clearly see that there's a an object that it's captured here, some sort of disk or something that's sitting on the surface of the ground there. And just as a closer look, what we'll just do is initially we'll just have a quick crop. So we'll crop that and we'll apply that. We'll just zoom in on that one there. You can see that it's quite interesting. We can just see there's some sort of reflection and a turret thing here. There's three lights at the back that are quite obvious with something on the front here as well. It's certainly a circular object sitting there, quite dark here as well. So if we take that back out or even undo the crop, an interesting property to look at here is the shadows. So we can see that there's a number of individual lights that are or objects that are reflecting in on the surface here. If we change the shadow depth to very dark, we can see there that there's a number of these objects that are reflective, and you can see this one's got now emphasized quite brightly here on the top, and we can zoom in on that like that, and we can just see there that there's some sort of reflective material here in comparison to the rest of it, and certainly these three lights here at the back. And if we can change the color temperature a little bit more there, and we can wind this back and then just compare it with the objects in the distance. We can see that there's a few one here, looks like another one right there. And if we just bring this back in frame and zoom it in again a little bit and bring up the shadows like that, we can see that there's certainly something quite bright, even quite hot, because if we pull the shadows back to normal and if we go back to its original frame, then we'll bring up the heat map and we can see there that in the distance, that's the sky. It's obviously coming up quite hot. Not much other heat to determine out of the frame, but we can see here that it's quite red on top here, which indicates that there's quite a lot of heat being generated on the object here, as well as with these three lights, whether they're coming from the lights or being reflected from the sun that's been able to heat this up over time. But if we just go back a little bit there, we can see that there's nothing much else that's hot as opposed to that, and it's quite interesting. We can sort of fade that in a little bit there and see it like that, or fade it back out a little bit and just sort of get an idea of how hot that actual reflective material is on the top there. We can see like that. Even this little bit here at the back there, which is quite interesting. And we just zoom back out from that to its original and get an idea now of how small that object actually is. Another interesting one to note here would be or we could crop that one more time like this and apply that and then just bring that in again. And while that's there, we'll see if we can just apply the heat map. You can see there, again, it's quite distinct and interesting to look at. We'll just undo that crop and take it back out. If we just go back on the horizon here, we can see these objects, and we can easily again change the shadow temperature here and see that there's a number of different things. Now that might just be stones in the distance or something like that, but it's certainly interesting to do these sorts of modifications to the image and see exactly how bright that is. We can see that there. It's certainly not like of any particular color or anything like that. It's just interesting to note that, what is this thing? I suppose is the question. The original image for this, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can have a look at the original image. There's nothing else really in the frame to note. But there's certainly some windswept properties here, some sand and rocks here and things like that. But anyway, I hope you find that interesting. And if you have any comments on what this might be, here's another one. We can fade this in and out, gives you a good perspective again. It's interesting to have different color contrasts on it to see if there's any particular properties of this object. But if it's a brightness one there, gives you an idea. If you have any comments on what this might be, please leave your comments down below. I'll leave a link to the original source image in the description as well. And that's that. Interesting object from Mars. Thanks for watching.